First, let's get straight into the news. And today, I'm going to be honest, there is a lot of news, almost too much news. Luckily, though, too much news is just the right amount of news for a segment we call Ain't Nobody Got Time for That. Beyonce. She took over Coachella, she took over the Louvre, and now she's taking over Vogue.
Beyonce has reportedly been given control over the cover of the September issue of Vogue. The singer selected a black photographer to shoot the cover. It'll be the first time that's happened in the magazine's 126-year history.
How is that possible?
Yeah, that's right. Beyonce will be the first guest to be given complete control of Vogue magazine's September issue cover, which is the holy grail of fashion. And on top of that, she's hired a black photographer to shoot the cover. Yeah, which is insane. I'm just excited because it's finally a good headline with the words black person and shoot in it. This is dope. This is so dope. And you know what's funny about this story is that by having the first black photographer shoot their cover, they've inadvertently exposed that they've never had a black photographer shoot their cover. In 126 years. Like, if they hadn't fixed this mistake, we probably would have never realized, you know? It's sort of like when a beverage company starts advertising, they're like, now, with real juice. You're like, what the was I drinking before? And this story has once again brought up the conversation of how the fashion industry has so often taken inspiration from people of color without actually involving them. And if we had the time, we would get into that. But we've got to move on, because the country of Zimbabwe is also looking to make a big change.
High turnout and high hopes in Zimbabwe's historic election. Votes are being counted in the first election in 37 years without former President Robert Mugabe on the ballot.
They queued in the dark, and as the sun rose on Zimbabweans waiting to cast their vote, there was an unprecedented feeling of optimism.
I feel so excited. There's freedom in the air.
I would expect the counting to take place quickly and for the announcement of the result to be done as quickly as possible.
So, congratulations to Zimbabwe on hosting its first democratic elections in 37 years. 37 years. Because that's how long Robert Mugabe was a dictator for. And if you in America don't know what it feels like to have a strong man in power for that long, don't worry, you will. You know what's funny about Robert Mugabe? What's funny about Robert Mugabe is that he was in power for all this time, and technically he held elections, but he just wouldn't allow any opposition onto the ballots. But then they'd still have the elections, they would still count the ballots, and then he would still act surprised when he won. Like, they would count, and then he'd be like, oh, I hope I get it, I hope I get it. Who's president? Oh, I won again, I can't believe it. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, I can't believe I beat myself. Now, if we had the time, we could talk about how this is only the beginning of Zimbabwe's difficult road back to being economically successful on the continent. But we just don't have the time. Because while Zimbabwe is celebrating a president, Akron, Ohio is celebrating a king.
He is known as King James, and now some might be calling him LeBron the Headmaster. The basketball superstar opened an elementary school in his hometown with every single detail carefully designed to change students' lives.
In his new school named I Promise, 240 third and fourth graders identified as needing support chosen for the first classes.
No matter if I'm playing in Los Angeles or not, Akron, Ohio is always home for me. Always.
Wow. Yeah, wow. That is such an amazing and heartwarming story. And I love the way LeBron was like, I'm leaving Ohio for LA, and I'm building a school. I'm building a school. What was the first part? Never mind, never mind. And now some people are asking why LeBron needed to open a school. But you see, after what happened to him in the finals with J.R. Smith, LeBron was like, yo, everyone in Cleveland needs to learn how to count, okay? We're gonna make sure that that doesn't happen again. And although this is a really beautiful story of philanthropy, it does raise the question of why communities need celebrities to provide services that should be provided by the government. You know, no one should be out there going, I hope my team wins the Super Bowl so they can buy us a fire department. You don't want that.